Hello everyone, and welcome to my BNB CBS Daily Update channel. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. Monday, May 11th. Is a father's love for his daughter actually strong enough to survive the ultimate corporate seduction? Or is Forrester finally about to prove that his destiny with Brooke Logan matters more than his own flesh and blood? We're diving into a power struggle that's about to tear the house of Forrester apart. And the weapon of choice here isn't a legal brief, it's a lace teddy. Was this really just a simple mistake by Ridge to listen, or is something much deeper going on in his head? Think about it for a second, because this isn't just office drama. It's a total war for the soul of a fashion empire. To really get why this betrayal is such a massive deal, we have to look at where things were standing before the lingerie came out of the drawer. For months, everyone at Forrester Creations was talking about stability. Carter Walton, who usually has his finger on the pulse of the company, was calling Ridge and Steffy the dream team. On paper, it actually looked like it was working. You had the veteran designer and his fierce, business-minded daughter holding the line together. It was a united front, but we all know that in this town, stability is just the calm before the storm. While Ridge was out there praising Steffy for her leadership and saying she's the big reason they're successful, a storm was brewing in the Logan camp. Honestly, it feels like the Logans were just waiting for a crack in the armor. Hope Logan was feeling pushed to the very edge because her hope for the future line was shelved yet again. She decided she was done playing nice. She didn't just want her fashion line back, she wanted a whole regime change. Hope's strategy was honestly pretty brilliant, but man, was it manipulative. She went to her mom, Brooke, and basically told her she was turning into a shell of her former self. She weaponized Brooke's own history, reminding her of all the power she used to have as the CEO. That's a masterclass in psychological prodding, right? Hope knew that if she could get Brooke into that co-CEO seat, her own fashion line would be safe forever. She wasn't just asking for a favor, she was demanding a corporate coup. Let's talk about that pitch Brooke made on Friday, because it was wild. Instead of bringing a folder full of earnings reports or a growth plan to Ridge, Brooke went with a romantic setup and a lingerie ensemble. Why did she do that? Well, because Brooke knows exactly who she's dealing with. She knows Ridge Forrester's brain has always been influenced by his heart and his attraction to her. By framing her demand for Steffy's job within a romantic evening, she basically turned off Ridge's ability to think like a businessman. She made it all about them. She painted this picture of them becoming the new Eric and Stephanie, the ultimate power couple of the industry. It's a seductive fantasy for a man like Ridge, who has spent his whole life trying to live up to his dad's legacy. But here's the cold, hard truth: Eric and Stephanie's partnership was built on decades of shared sacrifice and, let's be real, a lot of mutual misery. Brooke is selling him a filtered version of that legacy just to get what she wants. Internally, Brooke says she's feeling lost about her role. That's the emotional trigger Hope used. For years, Brooke has been the supportive wife and the peacemaker. But being the supportive wife doesn't really satisfy the ego of a woman who once ran the whole show. There's a real sense of invisibility there. Brooke feels like if she isn't at the top, she doesn't really exist in the eyes of the Forresters. Hope, on the other hand, is operating from a place of pure career survival panic. She told Brooke she's exhausted and drained from all the office drama. She truly believes Steffy is killing her brand just out of personal spite. This isn't just about business for Hope, it's her whole identity. If her line dies, she feels like she's just another Logan living in the Forrester shadow. That fear is what drove her to push her mother into a role Brooke wasn't even sure she wanted at first. This isn't just a CEO battle, it's a battle over the soul of the company. On one side, you have the Forrester way, tradition and couture. On the other, you have the Logan influence, which is more about accessibility and the hope for the future vibe. By asking for that co-CEO spot, Brooke is basically asking Ridge to choose a side in a culture war. Ridge's usual head tilt when he's around Steffy tells us everything. His moral compass is spinning. He knows what's right, but he's being pulled by what feels good in the moment. I'm going to be blunt, if Ridge even considers this, he is failing as both a father and a boss. Steffy has earned her spot, and even Brooke admits that. To bump his daughter down to some other position just so his wife can feel more found is just bad business. It's so insulting to everything Steffy has done. Ridge is essentially telling his daughter that her hard work is secondary to her stepmother's midlife crisis. I totally disagree with Brooke's tactics here. Using sex as a bargaining chip for a promotion feels like something out of a bad 80s movie. It actually undermines her own status at the company. Why is Ridge so susceptible to this? It's the Eric complex. Ridge has always wanted to be the patriarch. Brooke is offering him the chance to play that role with her by his side as the queen. It feeds his ego. He even wants to believe he can frame this as positive news to Steffy. He actually thinks he can suggest she spends more time with her kids and she'll be happy about it. That is classic psychological projection. Ridge wants to feel like the good guy while doing something objectively selfish. He's trying to rewrite a betrayal as a story about work-life balance. It's just a defense mechanism so he doesn't have to feel guilty about hurting his daughter. The tension isn't just at the top, though, it's trickling down and poisoning everything. Forrester is absolutely furious. He's a designer who poured his heart into a collection that is now just gathering dust because of these power games. When the leadership is this distracted by bedroom politics, the actual talent gets left behind. Zen's frustration is a ticking time bomb. He's over there grumbling to Carter, and that kind of resentment usually leads to people quitting. And then we have Liam. Liam is already whispering in Hope's ear about moving her line over to the new Logan fashion house that Katie is building. He's even suggesting Deke Sharp as a designer. This is how a legacy dies, piece by piece, as the talent realizes the bosses are too busy fighting over titles to actually lead. Steffy is not going to take this lying down, obviously. She's already told Ridge in no uncertain terms, Brooke is not gonna have my job. The dream team is officially dead and buried. Steffy now sees Brooke as a manipulative snake who is actively trying to sabotage her. This is the kind of bridge burning you don't recover from. Steffy's reaction is going to be extreme. There are already whispers that she might demand Brooke be fired altogether. If Brooke wants a war, Steffy is ready to give her a scorched earth campaign. She sees Brooke as a Logan traitor who can't be trusted. We're moving past office drama and into a full-scale family war. Ridge is standing at a crossroads, and honestly, every path leads to a cliff. He thinks he can soften the blow for Steffy, but he's vastly underestimating her iron will. He's also underestimating the fire he's lit under the Logan women. By letting Brooke believe her seduction worked, he's set a trap for himself. I predict Ridge is going to fumble this. He won't give Brooke the co-CEO title because he's too afraid of Steffy's wrath, but he also won't say no fast enough. This hesitation is going to be the final straw for the Logans. Hope is already at her breaking point. I can see a future where Hope officially quits Forrester and joins Katie at Logan. If Brooke feels slighted by Ridge's ultimate refusal to choose her, she might just follow her daughter out the door. That would create a Spectra versus Forrester-style rivalry that the fans have been wanting for ages. And this won't be a clean break, either. The sources mention a court case over contracts and brand rights. If Hope takes her line to Logan, expect the Forresters to sue for everything she's got. This will get messy, public, and incredibly expensive. Steffy will use every legal resource she has to make sure Hope leaves with nothing. Can Brooke and Ridge's marriage even survive this? Ridge is caught right in the middle, and he's never been good at navigating that. If he sides with Steffy, Brooke will feel betrayed. If he sides with Brooke, he loses his daughter and his partner in the company. The dynamic change we're seeing isn't just about work, it's the beginning of the end for their peace at home. Is this a bold new direction for the show, or just the same old cycle of Logan versus Forrester drama? Some fans on Reddit are already calling it mediocre slop. But for those of us who love the high-stakes corporate maneuvering, this feels like the spark that could finally blow the whole thing up. I really wonder what you guys think about this. Should Ridge honor the professional dream team he has with his daughter, or should he reward Brooke's loyalty with the co-CEO seat? Who actually deserves to be in charge of the business? Do you think Hope is being a strategic genius by using Brooke to save her line, or is she being a selfish daughter by putting her mother's marriage on the line? And do you think Ridge has the guts to actually follow through with this betrayal, or will he run away the moment Steffy starts making demands? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to see a real debate down there. Does Brooke have the right to use her power couple status to oust Steffy, or is Steffy the only one keeping the company together? If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Forrester power struggle, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps out and lets me know you want more of this commentary. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a spoiler or an analysis of the latest drama. We've got a lot more coming up as this war officially begins. Thanks for watching, and stay bold, stay beautiful, and stay tuned. Wait, let's look closer at why Brooke thinks she can just step back into that role. She told Hope she's been feeling lost lately. That's a really heavy word to use when you live a life of total luxury, isn't it? It shows that for Brooke, her identity is completely tied to her status. Without a title, she feels like she's just fading into the background. And Hope totally played on that. She told her mom she was becoming a shell of her former self. That's some harsh language to use on your own mother. But it worked. It lit a fire under Brooke that we haven't seen in a long time. Now Brooke is convinced that she's the one everyone is rooting for. Is she, though? If you look at the fan reactions, people are pretty divided. Some people think Steffy is being a total Nepo baby who just got her job because of her name. But others point out that Steffy actually works and has saved the company multiple times. The funny thing is, Brooke admitted herself that Steffy is doing a good job. So this isn't even about business performance. It's about feelings. It's about Brooke wanting to feel important again and Hope wanting her line saved. It's purely interpersonal drama disguised as a corporate move, and what about Zend? The guy is absolutely furious, and honestly, I don't blame him. Imagine working for months on a collection and then having the bosses tell you it's never going to see the light of day just because they want to focus on couture. That's a huge blow to any creative person's ego. Zend is grumbling to Carter, and you can tell he's reaching his breaking point. This is how you lose your best people. If Ridge and Steffy are so busy fighting off the Logans, they're going to look up and realize there's nobody left to actually design the clothes. This whole situation is a mess from top to bottom. Even Katie is getting in on the action. She's over at Logan headquarters talking about a bold new direction. She wants to fill the creative gap left by Eric. And her big idea? Hiring Hope. Donna was totally shocked by that. She knows that if Katie hires Hope, Brooke is going to lose it. It's like every single person in this family is playing a game of chess, but they're all playing on different boards. Let's talk about the psychological layer of Steffi's reaction. She isn't just mad, she's insulted. She sees the Logans as intruders who keep trying to take what belongs to the Forresters. To her, Brooke asking for the co-CEO job is just another example of Brooke being a manipulative snake. She's digging her heels in. She told her dad, "Tell me you understand that." She's demanding loyalty. She's basically telling Ridge, "Choose me or choose her." And Ridge? He's doing his usual head tilt, which is basically his way of saying, "I'm in over my head." He doesn't want to rock the boat, but he's the one who let Brooke think it was okay to even ask. He kissed her back. He didn't say no right away. By not saying no, he's already betrayed Steffy in a way. He's entertained the idea of replacing her. How do you come back from that? If Steffy finds out that he even considered it, she's going to be devastated. The fans are already predicting a huge fallout. Some think this will lead to the Logans finally leaving and starting their own rival company. That would be such a cool throwback to the old days of the show. Imagine Brooke, Hope, and Katie all working together to take down Forrester Creations. It would be total chaos. But some people are worried the writers will fumble the bag and nothing will actually change. They're worried Brooke will just be made co-CEO, Hope's line will be back, and we'll be right back where we started. I really hope that isn't the case. This storyline has so much potential for actual, lasting consequences. We need to see some real stakes. We need to see that court case over contracts that the spoilers mentioned. That would be such a great way to show how serious this is. It's not just about who sits in which office, it's about legal rights and millions of dollars. So, what's your take? Is Ridge a total jerk for even thinking about this? Or do you think Brooke actually deserves the job? I mean, she has been there for years. She did run the company before. But is it fair to just kick Steffy out? Especially when Steffy hasn't actually done anything wrong professionally? This is such a classic B&B dilemma. It's family versus romance, and there's never a clean winner. I'm leaning toward Team Steffy on this one, just because it feels so wrong to use a romantic evening to steal your stepdaughter's job. But I can also see why Brooke feels so invisible. It's a tough spot to be in. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you Team Logan or Team Forrester? And don't forget to like and subscribe for more. We're going to be following this story every step of the way, especially next week when Ridge has to actually face Steffy with the news. It's going to be explosive. Thanks again for hanging out with me and talking all things bold and beautiful. See you in the next one. Think about the position Ridge is in. He's looking at Brooke, the woman he calls his destiny, and she's telling him she wants to be his partner at work too. That's a very seductive offer for a man who loves to be in a power couple. But then he has to go to the office and look at his daughter, who has been working her tail off to keep the company stable. He told her she's the reason they're successful. So how does he look her in the eye and say, actually, your stepmother wants your job, so I'm moving you to a different room? It's cowardly. And Ridge can be a lot of things, but he usually tries to avoid being the bad guy. That's why he hasn't said no to Brooke yet. He's hoping he can find a way to make everyone happy. But in this situation, there is no everyone happy. Someone is going to get hurt. Either he breaks his promise to Brooke, or he betrays his own daughter. It's a zero-sum game. And the psychology of it is so fascinating because Ridge is basically reliving his father's life. He wants to be Eric, but he's realizing that being the guy in charge means making the hard choices that people hate you for. He wants the title, but he doesn't want the conflict, and let's not forget about Finn and Liam. They're both kind of hovering on the sidelines of this corporate war. Liam is pushing Hope to leave. He sees the writing on the wall. He knows Steffy is never going to give Hope what she wants. And Finn? He's just trying to have a romantic evening with his wife, but he's probably going to end up hearing all about the Logan traders all night. It's affecting their personal lives too. That's the thing about a family business, there is no off switch. The drama follows you home to the Cliff House and the Logan estate. Every dinner conversation is about co-CEO titles and shelved fashion lines. It's exhausting. I honestly don't know how they do it. If I were Zend, I'd have quit a long time ago and started my own brand on Etsy or something. But that's why we watch, right? We want the drama, the betrayal, and the high fashion fights. And boy, are we getting them right now. One more thing to consider is the Reddit theory about the ownership shares. Someone pointed out that Steffy is a majority shareholder. She has more shares than Ridge. So does Ridge even have the legal power to fire her? Or is it like someone else said, where Ridge and Eric combined have more than she does? If this actually goes to a board meeting, it's going to be a total bloodbath. Imagine the dialogue. Steffy standing her ground, Eric feeling caught in the middle, and Brooke making her case. It would be peak soap opera. And it would finally give us a real answer to who actually owns Forrester Creations. Is it the Forresters by name, or is it whoever has the most power in the moment? The Logans have been part of this company for so long that they feel like they own it too. That's the real root of the conflict. It's a fight for ownership, both legal and emotional. Okay, I've been talking for a while, but this story is just so juicy. I really want to know what you guys think is going to happen in the next 2 weeks. Do you think Hope is actually going to quit? Or is she just bluffing to get her way? And what about Brooke? If Ridge says no, is she going to join Katie? That would be such a huge shift in the show's dynamic. We haven't seen the Logan sisters truly united against the Forresters in a long time. It would change everything. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up now. Make sure to leave a comment with your predictions. I read all of them and I love seeing what you guys come up with. Don't forget to like the video if you want more of these deep dives. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that button and join the community. We've got so much more to talk about as this power struggle heats up. See you in the next one, and remember, stay bold and stay beautiful. Wait, before I go, one last question. If you were Ridge, what would you do? Would you risk your relationship with your daughter to keep your wife happy? Or would you tell your wife that business is business and she needs to stay in her lane? It's a nightmare scenario. I don't envy Ridge at all right now. He's stuck between a rock and a very beautiful, lingerie-clad hard place. Good luck, Ridge. You're going to need it. Okay, for real this time, thanks for watching. Catch you later.